Everything in sales is your fault. I got a stark reminder of this recently when I met my first sample abuser.
And some chocolate.
I mean, this is
Just
really
the plain
ridiculous. This is so
chocolate,
rude.
Just the plain chocolate.
You know, you're like a sample abuser. That's what
is
you
the
are.
matter with you?
You're abusing your sampling privileges.
I had a prospect abuse their sampling privileges, and my first initial reaction was that I was very angry at them. And only then I realized that it was all my fault. So here's what happened. Our policy on sales calls is if we cannot close them on the first call, we offer them the first working session for free. And that has worked very well for us in the past. 80% of people who do this first free working session then end up signing up with us. And with most people, there's an unspoken gentleman's agreement included. If after our sales call, you then think about it, you sleep on it, and you decide that you do not want to work with us after all, then you just cancel that working session. Because it would be quite sociopathic to attend that working session while you know that you won't be signing up with us. It will be the B2B version of a sample abuser. And that's exactly what happened with this prospect who we will call John. He said yes to this first working session, fully knowing how much it would cost if he then signed up with us afterwards. Now, John prepared for this session with the materials we had sent him before, and he and I had a very productive meeting during which he told me at least twice how valuable my input was. And then towards the end, I asked him whether he wanted to work with us. He said yes and asked me to remind him of the payment options. And I said, it's $10,000 if you pay upfront or $12,000 if you split pay over 6 months. So that would be $2,000 a month. He said, okay, I'll take the $12,000 option. We set the call for our next working session. And because we were almost out of time, there were like 3 minutes left. So I said I would be sending him the terms and conditions and the payment link, and we'll take it from that. John said, great. And we ended the call. And then 2 hours later, after I had sent all the materials, the payment link and the terms and conditions, John sent me an email. Oh, I thought it would be $750 a month. Sorry, but $2,000 is too much for me. But thank you so much for the very valuable session. I really enjoyed it. You can imagine how pissed off I was. And in my fantasy, I was already drafting an elaborate clapback email telling John how unprofessional his behavior was, fully knowing that I would never send it. But a boy can dream. And then I remembered that everything in sales is my fault. Where was I at fault here? Well, first of all, number one, I was offering free sessions to people below $10,000 a month. It is clear that there's a high risk when you offer free stuff to a more price-sensitive, less experienced, and let's face it, less professional crowd. Just like getting your Rolex stolen in the touristy area is kind of your fault, offering free stuff to low-level entrepreneurs is also your fault, and you have to live with the consequences. Number two is the fact that I give free calls in the first place. I mean, that's not a mistake per se because it has been a useful closing tactic in the past. It just was one of those 20% of cases, albeit quite a spectacular and crazy one because it was such an obvious taking advantage of this offer. But if I offer free calls, then I have to live with the consequences that some people will abuse this. You gotta take the wins and the losses. And the third mistake, I didn't leave enough time towards the end of the call to process payment. We ended the working session at 5 minutes to the hour and I have a next meeting coming up. Again, my fault. I could have ended the meeting at 45, leaving 15 minutes for the administrative details, but I did want to give John as much value as possible during that first session. And in retrospect, it would have been very funny to watch John squirm out of paying if I had sent him the payment link on the call. So the lesson is everything, and literally everything in sales is your fault. Even if you feel absolutely justified, righteous indignation, people will say yes on a call and then they will ghost you. People will abuse their sampling privileges. And yes, there are even people who will pay, consume your service, and then do a chargeback and dispute the payment. I never had that personally, thank God, but I have friends who this happened to, and that's just the cost of doing business. You are not a cynic. If you design your sales process to be ready for the worst in people, just like you're not a pessimistic curmudgeon if you buy insurance, you are just protecting your downside. And it's on you to build a system that minimizes sample abusers. And it's also on you to have fun when, on occasion, you meet one in real life.
And some chocolate.
I mean, this is
Just
really
the plain
ridiculous. This is so
chocolate,
rude.
just the